I know my father's family is from New Orleans, and at least one part of the ceremony for someone who dies is a celebration of their life. So we're not really celebrating that they've died, but we're celebrating that they've lived. We're celebrating what they've done with their life and how we will remember them and what they have contributed to the family and to the society. And on the other hand, we are realizing that we will miss them and we are grieving them. And so we're kind of balancing that out. There are some peoples who it is not allowed that you grieve, that you have to be stoic and you have to talk about what that person contributed to life. I don't know if one is more healthy than the other. I think what's important is that we have talked about it and do something that fits in with how we live, because it's going to have a heavy impact on us, whether we acknowledge it or not. In the hospitals where most of us die in the hospital from heart attack, from cancer. We have a little bit of time to linger because of modern technology where we know we're dying, but we've got time. In those hospitals, we're away from home, we're away from our loved ones, we've got tubes and wires hooked up to us, and right up to most people's last minute, we're hoping they'll find a miraculous cure, and then suddenly we'll live again. That's denying the fact that death is inevitable, that it happens to all of us. In terms of science and medicine and its impact on death and dying, we have had such technological advances, pharmaceutical advances, medical advances that have led us to a place where we are living much longer than we ever have before. If we lived in a society where we were immortal and we couldn't die and people would live forever, I think it would change everything. In the same way that I think inhibiting the way we talk about death creates a certain kind of society, I think not even having death out there, you could make a lot of mistakes, but you would have time to correct them. You could be much more adventurous. You could try new things. If we were going to live forever, we would obviously have to have fewer children because the overpopulation would just get to us. I don't think we would value children as much, because we talked today about the children being our future, because they're the only part of us that will see the future. In a society where we were immortal, we don't need that from children. So we would have to think differently in terms of what children give us back for all that we put into them. We're using fear of death right now to make people go on diets, for example, because obesity is now a killer. We're making people stop smoking because cancer kills. And I kind of have a take on it that if you don't die one way, you'll die another, because we're going to die. So what you really are trying to do is choose how you're going to die, not really make death go away. When I ask people how they want to die, they say, I want to die at home, in my bed, asleep, and healthy. So how are we going to get to that where we're calm enough that that's how we die? Because if I start having a heart attack, I'm going to pick up the phone and call 911. And so I'm not going to be at home. An ambulance is going to rush over there, pick me up, take me into this cold, sterile hospital and hook me up, and that's likely where I'm going to die. And hopefully not totally among strangers, but more likely among strangers. Will my family have time to get there before I even die, so I can say goodbye? So we're kind of split on what we believe, what we want to believe, what we actually do, and it's very unhealthy that neither our science nor our religion are giving us real concrete ideas about what to look forward to and how we should be responding. So a lot of our responses are out of fear and not really thought out because we haven't had the time to think about it before it actually happens. So we're in crisis when we're making these decisions. If we weren't so denying of it, we'd talk about it. We'd see other people die. We'd see how they dealt with it. And we would make our own decisions before it actually happened to us or a loved one. So we've got all of this stuff going on, all these different beliefs that people are going around with. Because, in part, our society denies death. It makes it so scary. We don't have a full cosmology that we put it into and say, look, this is natural. It's going to happen to all of us. It's not the end of the world that someone dies. Maybe they did whatever it is they were here to do.